So you're a streamer and you want to stream a game and don't just want to slap your face in the corner, then you can turn it into a dynamic interface like this one. As you can see, I zoomed in on the game a little bit. Problem is, when I go to the menus, I can't see them. Therefore, I created these cutouts of the regions that are of interest and zoomed in on that. They are slightly animated, like you can see, so it's more interesting to the viewers. If you're interested in how you can create those, watch the video that's above. The thing is, it would be a pain to trigger those menus separately with a shortcut or something like that. We want the game to automatically trigger those windows, and I will show you how you can do that now. What you will need is a program called I. It's free and it's directly connected to OBS. The link is in the description. As you can see, I'm using I on many different games. You can even use it for desktop applications if you like. Just made a new folder for my game and put the file in it. You don't have to install anything. Program is only this little window. First button in the top left corner is the start button. When you click that, the program will start to compare screenshots it actually takes in the moment with screenshots you provided earlier. The best matching screenshots will then be written to a file and OBS can read that file and trigger scenes as you like. The second button with the down arrow is the save button. The third one with the up arrow is the load button, and the one with no arrow in it resets the same thing so you can do a new file. The last button is a link to my YouTube channel, and there you can find different tutorials on this program. The controller button lets you choose the game. When you click on it, a new little window will open, which shows you all the current applications that you are running. Choose your game from it. For me, it's Halls of Torment, and it will write the name you choose into the field so you can see that you selected the right one. The slider beneath that lets you set the delay between each cycle. It's set to 500 milliseconds by default, but if you make it faster, it will need much more resources on your PC. Then you can see you have 10 tabs, so you can set up 10 different regions on your screen which you want to look at. Each tab contains a camera button. When you click on it, it will take a screenshot of the current region of interest. The current region of interest you can set on the entry field next to this button. If you know the exact coordinates you want to observe, you can write them down here, but if you don't know them, you can middle click on it. Wherever you move your mouse, it will show you the coordinates where your mouse is currently at. It will lock those coordinates to the lock and you can copy it from there. In my example, it's pretty easy. I can see that there's a character button on the top and I just have to look if this button is there or not. And if it's there, it has to trigger the windows I showed you earlier. So I middle click on the region of interest entry field and move my mouse onto the button. Each entry is divided by a space. The first number stands for the X coordinate, the second one for the Y coordinate, the third one for the X dimension, so how wide it is, and the fourth one for how high it is. 50-50 is in almost all cases a good start. So now when I click on the camera button, it creates a screenshot of the region of interest. When you right click on the region of interest entry field, it will open the screenshots folder, which has now been generated in the same folder where you started your program. Now you add a category. Click on the entry field and name a category like whatever you want. I call mine character, press enter, and now you can see it added this category to the list. And when you right click on this entry, it opens a corresponding folder it just created in the categories folder, which is also in the same folder where you put your program in. You can see here's the program, here's the new categories folder, and in it is a new folder called character, which the program just made. So you go to your screenshots folder, then you take the screenshot and put it into the characters folder. So now the program can check if the current screen is similar to the screenshot you put in this folder. And if it's a good match, it will write the name of this folder to a file. So let's test that. We press start. Now it says game window not found. Click on your game so you're in the game so that the program can recognize it. You can see it says character and then the number 0. So it's a perfect match. The smaller the number, the better the match. You have to start the process once, and then you can stop it and when you go into your programs folder, you see there's a new folder called trigger, and in it is a new file that's only created if you started the program once, and it's called read with OBS, and then there's a little number. The number corresponds to the tab in the program where you created the screenshots from. So you see I'm on tab 1, and this is the corresponding file with the number 1 on the end. Since we created a perfect screenshot and the game is currently showing a screen where the screenshot is matched, we should see in this file the name character. So here you can see the open file. It's read with OBS and the number 1, and it wrote the name character in it because the best matching screenshot was in the folder character. Let me start the program. I'll go back into my game. Since I'm still on the screen, it shows a perfect match with 0. But if I go to another tab, you will see that the number changes. So it can detect that it's still similar. But if I go to the gameplay again, you can see it's getting worse. Let me go back, and now I'm again in the correct menu, and you see that it's a perfect match again. Now it's still detecting character, and the similarity is not that good. We can change that. Here's a slider on each tab beneath the region of interest, and with it you can set the threshold, so the sensitivity at which the screenshot will be accepted as a match. So if you set it to 200, the match must be super close so that the program will accept it. Let's try that again. Go back to the game. Now you can see it's the same number as before, it's 3000, but now it's writing no quality match. Before that it was writing character and then 3000. That's because we set a higher threshold, so it only accepted as a match if this number is below 200. So it did not recognize a matching screenshot in our folders. And what it does then is it writes the word none into this file. It's the same file where it wrote character in it before when it detected a matching screenshot. Now it did not detect a screenshot that's matching, so it wrote none into it. That's all this program is doing. It's detecting if a screenshot is similar enough to pre-made screenshots and writes the results to a file. So how can we connect this to OBS? So we're back in OBS. And when I go to my tools, you see I have the advanced scene switcher. It's a plugin from WarmUpTill. The link is in the description. When you click on it, you see you have two different tabs. The first one you don't have to mind. The only thing you have to do later is to start the program. And then on the second tabs, you can set up your macros. And that's where the magic happens. You see the green flashing plus on the bottom. Click on it to create a new macro. I call it character. Now you see it made a new macro. There are two new plus signs you can see here, one in the middle and one on the bottom. The middle one lets you create a trigger, and the bottom one lets you create the action that you want OBS to do. So let's create the trigger first. It's always the same when you want to use it with I. So click on it, opens this new window. What we do is if, and instead of scene, we choose file, then it's a local file, and we browse for the file we just saw. So I go to my program for the game, then I go to trigger, and here you will see all the corresponding files for each tab. Since we just set up one tab, we only have this one, and it's the right one. You can see it, it has the number 1 at the end, and we set up the first tab. So it's now looking in this file and it says matches. So if in this file is the word character, which it will write in there if it finds the best matching screenshot in the folder character. In other words, if the game menu is open, which we want, then it should do something. Then we go on the plus sign here on the bottom to make an action. Instead of scene switch, we choose filter. Then we select the source. For me, it's menu character. Enable in. Again, if you don't know what I'm choosing now, watch this video. Then I make another one by clicking on this plus sign, and instead of menu character, I choose a new scene, which is menu character 2. That's the window on the right side. You will see it in a moment. Then again, I select the in. Those are all filters I set up in this scene. I select in, and now when I click on run macro, you will see it created those windows for me. Now it's showing the wrong thing because I'm in the game in the wrong menu, since I'm doing all this manually. Let me change to the correct menu. And there you will see it's a perfect fit. But the background is not blurry. I want that as well. So I add a new action by clicking on this plus sign again. I choose the correct scene. For me, that's game background. Enable in. It's always called in because I named those filters like that. You have to choose the filters you want to trigger. You can do everything you want. So if I run it again, you will see it blurred the background. So now I have to do the opposite thing. If I'm not in this menu, I don't want to see those windows and the background should not be blurred. The easiest way to do that is to right click on the macro, duplicate the macro, call it whatever you want. I like to say not the corresponding macro, so not character. And now I can tell him if in this file, which is the same file, is not the word character, but none, or another category. If you made multiple categories, you can choose different names here. But this is just, are you in the menu or not? So we can choose none. If it's not detecting a matching screenshot, it will write none into the file. So we can say here, if in this file is none, enable out. If I run this, you will see it turned back to normal. Since I will dynamically write this file and Advanced Scene Switcher will dynamically read from this file, we have a connection made from the game to OBS. I can show you that. Let me start Advanced Scene Switcher by going back to General and clicking on Start. Now, Advanced Scene Switcher is looking into this file and detects what is written in there. So let's start up I again. Now again, it says game window not found. Since the game is not the active window, I click on it. Wait for a second. Now it detected that I'm in the game. It detected that I'm on the right menu. It wrote character into the file. Advanced Scene Switcher read the file and saw, oh, there's character in it, and it triggered the corresponding menus. So if I switch now in the game into a different menu, it will automatically detect that I'm in another window or that I'm in the game or something like that. But if I go into the menu back again, it automatically detects that I'm in the right menu and it automatically fired up those macros we just made. So let's set up another menu. Let me level up for that. So I just leveled up and I have different windows for that as well. So you can see that's a different menu and it's pretty empty. So I want to focus with my cutout windows on the important things. This game is very easy to track since we have non-dynamic menus like this. What we could do is track the level up text at the top. So we go back to I again, but now we choose the second tab. So again, middle click on this region of interest entry field. Now I move my mouse to this text. It shows me the coordinates in the log window. And again, 50-50 is always a good start. If it does not work, change it, but it's almost working every time. Make a new category. I call it level up. When I press enter, it will automatically create a new folder in the categories folder, which is called Level Up. Now I can click on this camera button. You can see it created a new screenshot. So I right click on this category and it will open up the folder of that. And I go back to my screenshots folder, which again you can open by right clicking on the region of interest field. Here's my screenshot. I take that and put it into the Level Up folder. Then we increase the sensitivity again. You could set it up to 0 if you wanted, but 200, 300 is okay again. Sometimes you have to fiddle around with this. And if it's still not working, you can set up another category. So for example, if I have a window that is very similar to the screenshot I just made and I have no other choice, I can make a second category and make a screenshot of the window that's always triggering my macros when I don't want it to. Then I can put this screenshot into the not level up and it will always find the best match in the not level up, and then I can say in Advanced Scene Switcher none or not level up. So here it says none and I could click on this plus sign here again. And then instead of none, I could place here not level up. So if it finds this one or this one, it will disable those menus. But let me delete that because it's not even the right macro. If you spelled something wrong or you don't want to have this category here, you can click on it and then delete and you can get rid of it. If you do that, it will automatically erase the folder in your categories folder as well. Keep that in mind. Sometimes you need to press a button in game to show a menu and you have to hold this button. So you can't go to I to click on this camera button. But what you can do is you right click on this button and it will start a timer. So you have time to go back into your game and press this button. Let me show you that and you see there's a little timer now going down, and when this is hitting 0, it will take the screenshot. So I have my level up set up. So now let's do it in Advanced Scene Switcher again. So again, I go to Tools, Advanced Scene Switcher. Now I create a new macro. I call it level up. You can name it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Here's just the name of that. Now create a new trigger by clicking on this plus sign here in the middle. Instead of scene, we choose again file. Then we go to browse. And now I'm in the right folder, but I don't see the corresponding file to the tab. That's because I didn't run the program first. So let me do that. I click on start. Go into my game. That's important. So it finds the game window. Now it detected level up 0 and no quality match. You see in front of the text is a 1 and a 2. That's for the tab. Tab 1 has no quality match, but tab 2 has a quality match in the folder level up. And it's a perfect match because it's a 0. So stop I again. Now you can see it created this file in this trigger folder. You can choose that. So if in this file, which ends on the corresponding number of the tab you are looking for me that's the second one, and if in this is the word level up, because I named the category like that, you can double check, go to your folder with the corresponding file and check the name. Here you can see it's level up with a space. The words have to match. So when in this file is level up, because I leveled up in the game, I want to trigger different things in OBS again. So let's create a new action by clicking on this plus sign here on the bottom. Instead of switch scene, go to filter or whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want. You can see it's a shitload of things you can do. Filter. I pre-made this. Again, if you don't know how you can make those windows, click on this little video here. Level up, enable, in, make a new one, level up 2, because there are 2 windows, I made 2 scenes for that, in, and again I want to blur the background, then when I'm not leveled up, so anything else is shown in the game, I don't want to show the cutout windows. So I right click on level up again, duplicate macro, I rename it to not level up, you can choose whatever you want. And now, if in this file for tab 2, because here's the 2, is the word none, I want to enable out. So let me run this macro. You can see it did what I wanted. So let's start I again and test if everything is working correctly. So if I go to my menu, you can see it automatically detects that I'm in this menu and show me this cutout windows. If I go back, they should close automatically. When I level up, it cuts out the corresponding regions I set up earlier and shows me them. So if I choose something like that and go back, it should automatically close those again. And that's it. We connected the game to OBS. The game can now control everything in OBS as we want. If you want to know how you can set up those animated windows borders, watch this video next.